right, everybody. We finally got it. I don't know what happened there. It wasn't my internet service. It just sort of didn't want to connect. So we're all good. Let's start this thing. Y'all know me. I'm Mike. This is Moose. You're back for another edition of Live Mike on the Modeling with Mike channel. Let's welcome to it. And let's start with the last poll results. Our question was, should photo etch be in every kit? Yes, 36%, and no, 64%. So let's get to this week's topic, shall we, real quick? Uh, this week's topic is aftermarket worth it for budget builders. That's a good one, Chet. All right, so let's start with my little spiel. It's going to be real quick. The allure of aftermarket. What is aftermarket? Aftermarket is basically individual parts or decals that do not come with the original kit. Therefore, it's made by somebody else. Aftermarket. Uh, there's different kinds of aftermarket kits, like aftermarket parts, like resin parts, photo etch, decals, 3D prints, etc., etc. Uh, why do modelers use aftermarket? Well, detail accuracy, realism, customization. Sometimes, if they're using secondhand kits, the kit's missing a part. They need to go to the aftermarket market to get a part. Uh, the budget builder's dilemma. Well, there's number one, there's costs. Aftermarket and your essential tools, either one can cost just as much as a kit nowadays. So how do you, well, you can also have smart spending strategies and alternatives to aftermarket, such as scratch building, 3D printing, or repurposed materials. You can have DIY decals, wiring, and cockpit details. And that's about it for that's about all I have for this. So let's go to it's sort of okay, Moosey, get down a second. Yeah, it's sort of loosey goosey right now. Okay. I said hello everyone, and Jan, haven't seen you in a while. He says hello, where should I send the PL, or then he goes pictures for the group build. The pictures for the group build, Jan, go to my homepage on my channel and look on the description. There is a email address there, and that's where you send them. I'm not going to tell you what it is, not over the air, for all the hackers and stuff to go get on it. So look it up. Go to the homepage to the channel, go to the channel description, and it's right there. And that's where you send it. Michael Lambertino, how's everything in Philly, my friend? He says, hello, everyone. Yo. Then I had the connection problem. Yeah. Story of my whole week. Chet says, hey, y'all, Mike Moosey. Yo, billboards. Chet, live long and prosper. Michael says you need to get a new internet service. LOL. I don't think it was that. I think YouTube was not, you know, holding up. Chet says sounds like Mike needs a new Wi-Fi. No, I'm perfectly happy with the Wi-Fi I got. It hasn't gone out on me for a couple of months. Knock on simulated vinyl. Okay, Moosey. Moosey, enough. That was me. Moosey, shush. Uh, Chet says, which one is Mike and which one's Moose? Just kidding. Ha ha ha. Yeah, you're just a riot, Chet. Jan says, masking set are always worth it. Okay. Billboard says, if you want truly budget, then no. If you want it improved, then yes, but no longer budget depending on what you use. Very true. Jan says, a Yahoo instrument panel is a cheap upgrade. Okay. Galaxy Stranger, how you doing, Galaxy? He says, yeah, if you're pumping out custom builds for other people, you might need to spend money on tools and supplies that just make it faster for you. But if you're only building a kit once in a while, and he goes on to say, there are lots of things you can do to make a great kit without a lot of cash invested. Very true. Billboard says, sorry, I put your email in the chat. Oh, I didn't see it. As long as Jan got it, that's fine. I just, the Galaxy says, hey, Mike, what's social security number and street address? None of your damn business. Galaxy says, where's the moose? Right here, right by me. I had him up here until the the YouTube studio went nuts. So I'll bring him back up again. He's hanging out right by me. There he is. There the mooser. All right. There he is. That's right. The moosey. Chet says social security number do. Street address 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Exactly right. And I would bet you $10 there actually is somebody that has that social security number out there. Oh God, don't even mention social security to me. God, I spent all week trying to get a routing number changed on my social security account because my debit card went to a new bank. And all I gotta do is change a routing number. And they're making it total hell on me. Now I gotta go all the way up to Elkhart to the Social Security office and do it in person. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Social Security right now, but I gotta do it quick or else I don't get my December check. I don't get my December check. I don't pay my December rent. Galaxy says your DNA isn't enough. Apparently not. Yeah. Apparently it isn't enough proof anymore. Chet says Social Security is going up 2% next year, but they will probably take out an additional 4%. Yeah. Jan says on topic, okay, back on topic. I try to get masking sets for all, and if I can, the cheapest PE set with seat belts. There you go. Uh, I tried to do masking myself on my canopies and stuff because, I will take a toothpick. Galaxy says masking sets are awesome. I've figured out how to use a laser engraver to make my own mask with masking tape. Well, that's basically what I do, Galaxy. I take my masking tape, which is like I use blue uh, painter's tape, and I force it down around the raised parts of the canopy, and then I cut very, very, very carefully. It's more of scoring than cutting the tape, and I keep scoring around there till it comes off, and boom. Galaxy says, "Yeah, I also like masking liquids too. I think masking liquids are crap. Uh, every time I use them, they get into the places I don't want them to be, and yeah, it's just mess. And when you peel them off, the part that's supposed to be masks come peel. No, it's a mess." Galaxy says you can slop them on and slice off what you don't want covered along the panel lines. You know what? I think I'll try that next time. I never thought of that. Duh. Galaxy says there's also a couple different kinds. One is more plastic, another is more gel-like. Yeah, the one I think it's Vallejo, and yeah, this stuff is like, I don't know, it's sort of the consistency of Elmer's glue, just a little thinner than Elmer's. Galaxy says I've also seen people use masking liquid and also Elmer's glue for weathering. Kind of makes random masks. Huh. Jan says depends on the liquid mask. Gunza Neo can be cut, or the other one. Yeah. Well, I tried. I have a bottle of Vallejo liquid mask. It's going to be the last one I ever buy. Chat says Galaxy, you may want to find 3D resin seatbelt hardware and thread art carries all kinds of silk ribbons for cheap. Huh. Different sizes and colors. I use 2 millimeter when I make my own for car belts. Sweet thread art. Hmm. Now I've heard of a lot of people also using Tamiya tape for seat belts. Also, Chet says I like scale finishes masking. Yeah, I gotta try some of that scale finishes stuff. I'll get some of their masking stuff maybe. They have a I'm sure they have a website, don't they, Chet? Galaxy says, I wonder if you could add something cheap like glycine to Elmer's glue to make it a bit more rubbery for masking. I don't know. Go to Alex Mann's live stream sometime on Wednesday. He used to be a chemist, so or a chemical engineer or something, and like that, he knows his way around chemicals. That's Mann's model moments, if you're wondering. I use scale finishes, liquid masking works great. Michael says, I gotta try that. Galaxy says you can certainly plop on the Elmers and then wipe away what you don't want covered and let it dry. Yeah, yeah. I might I might just do the my next plane kit might just do the Vallejo on there and then cut off the parts I want painted off of there. We'll try that. Galaxy says there's a tabletop crafting YouTuber that's also a chemical engineer. I've been dying to interview him about paints, etc. Bernard Dye, how you doing? How's things down in H-Town? He says, hi all, a bit late, but I made it. Yeah, you're gonna be docked. Don't worry, we got started late, so Jan says, I think adding aftermarket stuff needs to be an investment in joy, making SC. Okay. Yeah, Galaxy says you're late. Bow to the moose. Bernard says, doing well, still waiting to hear on a new job. It'll come. Jan says masking is a pain in the backside. Yeah. Galaxy says, ha, me too, Bernard. You're looking for work too, Galaxy? He says, oh, yeah. Well, let me give you all a question here. Uh, what's the first aftermarket part you ever tried and was it worth it? Let's see. First aftermarket part I ever tried. Galaxy says, can't blow my retirement money on Ollie's kits until I get a new job. Yeah. The first aftermarket product I ever tried was a set of decals. I don't know what, I forget what it was for. I think it was for a jet I was doing. And the other decals that came with it were crap. And yeah, it was well worth it. It made the build so much better than the decals that came with it would have. So, what say you guys? What was the first aftermarket part you ever tried, and was it worth it? Galaxy says, first aftermarket I bought was a resin conversion kit for a Firebird from a popular company. I wasn't thrilled. Bernard says, first aftermarket part was officially a set of Edward masks for a canopy. Worth it because I can't make my own canopy mask without scratching up the canopy. Jet says, evergreen styrene and 3D printed engines. Yes, it's worth it. Galaxy says, I have since figured out how to make my own molds. Cool. Yes. And just a warning, guys, we're going to be stopping here at 5 Eastern, my time, Eastern time, which is about an hour from now, even though we started late. Sorry about that. I'm still fighting that cold that I had last week, and I'm gonna. Galaxy says, but Moose is gonna get hungry by then. Oh no, he isn't. He'll be fine till dinner time. Chet says I have a bunch of 3D engines. They are little mini models, but don't always use them. Ah, cool. I still have those 3D Star Wars kits that Don up at Wizard Tower Games sent me. I still trying to figure out how those go together. So Don, if you're listening since or watching afterwards, send me a diagram or something. I would love to build those. Galaxy says, I have some big projects in the works to make aftermarket clear parts for screen accurate 650 scale Star Trek what? Enterprise or Voyager or Deep Space Nine or Enterprise? Okay. Which one, the original or Galaxy class? Chet says next major investment is a 3D printer. There you go. They're getting cheaper all the time, I hear. Galaxy says the 650 is notorious for needed accuratizing parts. The movie version. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Galaxy says, yeah, 3D printing is cool. Yes, it is. It's very cool. Here's another question for you guys. Can skill and paintwork replace pricey parts? What say you? I say they sure as hell it sure as hell can. Bernard says my second aftermarket was a Verlinden update set for Monogram's MiG 29. It corrects errors and adds detail. That sounds nice. Bernard goes on to say, but some of its parts don't fit well or aren't the right size. The instructions aren't the clearest, and the resin they use smells horrible and nearly causes me to pass out when cutting and sanding it. Oh, yeah, resin can be nasty. Chet says, depends on what you want to achieve. True, true. Very true. Let's see. Chet says resin, you should wear a mask when sanding. Definitely. That stuff is some of the nastiest stuff ever concocted by man. Not nearly as not as bad as asbestos, but close. Bernard says, "Yep, I learned it's horrible." Yes, it is. It's some nasty stuff. Chet says, "I don't though." Yeah. Well, if you noticed on my Gallery Kaleido uh, Gallery Kaleido review video, I wasn't wearing a mask at the booth. And that was just so y'all could hear me over the booth and stuff. If I was wearing my mask, it all, like that. And old Adrian Hook over in the UK in the comment section, "You're not wearing a mask?" Well, okay, do you want to hear me or? Jan says, agreed. What is your goal? Hyper detail, you need aftermarket, or scratch build, easy build, leave it. Yeah, true. Very true. I guess that was a stupid question, wasn't it? Oh, sorry, Moosey. I moved my foot and I kicked Moosey. Let's see. Here's a question that sort of twists the whole thing on its side. What's your favorite DIY trick that saved you from buying aftermarket? I would say mine's that masking trick I do on canopies. If those lines are raised enough, you can score. Take a toothpick and score around those window panels, and then score it down, score the tape down. And if you do it, if you do it carefully enough, you don't scratch the plastic that way. Uh, John says, make your own panel liners. There you go. I should do a video on that. That's good. You just gave me an idea, Jan. Galaxy says, I found a website that will break down the color you give it into what colors you need to mix and get that color. I've heard of websites like that. Care to share what the name of the site is? Michael Lambertino says, I'm sorry, you said you use masking tape for what? I use it for masking my canopies on a plane. Galaxy says, let me look. It's been a while. Chet says, on cars, make a two-piece telescopic drive shaft. Wow. That'd be cool. So what, you just use two different thicknesses of styrene rod, Chet? That'd probably be the easiest way to do it. Okay, yeah. Styrene rod and tube or aluminum tube. Okay. Yeah, that would look good though. That would look good, especially on like a muscle car or a NASCAR, something like that. Yeah. Michael says, okay, using masking tape on a car roof is great for masking vinyl food. What is vinyl food? I've never, oh, vinyl roof. I was going to say, never tried vinyl food. Maybe that's something I should make for dinner sometime. Galaxy says, so I can mix my own. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I got a color wheel that I tried vinyl food once. Galaxy says, was it tasty? Tastes like chicken. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Galaxy says, nah, made me get a job. Bernard says, not 100% DIY without aftermarket, but I have used the evergreen sheets and rods and extra sprue bits to build parts. That's scratch building. I'd call that DIY. Yeah, that totally counts as scratch. Chet says brass rod and tube for hinges, UV resin for dash gauge and headlights. Oh, textured paint for rubber floor mat look. There you go. Heard it works good for vinyl roof look or vinyl food. Galaxy says you don't smelt the iron and beat the steel to make all the parts for your airbrush. Nope, no, no. I don't remember doing that on my airbrushes. No. I just sort of pressed a button on my phone. About a week later, there it was. Magic. Bernard says, Galaxy, have you joined the Facebook group yet? Oh, then it's not from scratch. And Galaxy said, yeah, I did. Good, good. Oh, man. So it's 4:13. It's about halfway through the stream already. Uh, so you know what that means? It's time for the halfway through the stream look at what's coming up on the channel. Now, if you didn't catch my post earlier today, it's happening again, guys, and I must say thank you very much for this positive problem. But I have a video that has some legs right now, and it's doing very well. It's got like close to 300 views, and after like not even 2.5 days. So, thusly, I'm moving tomorrow's video to Tuesday so I can give this present video some time to run its course. So, there's going to be no video coming out tomorrow. Tuesday is going to be what was going to be tomorrow, which is a video on accuracy in scale modeling. which was taken. The subject was taken from uh, one of these live streams. And then next Friday will be a video on can you be a serious scale modeler on a budget? Again, taken the topic was taken from one of these live streams. So that's what's coming up. Hopefully they'll do well. And Michael says, "Oh no." Galaxy says, "No video tomorrow. What am I paying you for?" Well, yeah, you know. Another 50 subs and 1,000 watch hours, and you could be paying me. Actually, 54 at last count. 54 subs is all I need to get to 500. So everything's going well. Let's see. What other great questions have I got for y'all? Let's see. Here's a question. It's probably dumber than hell, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Why? My channel. I can do what I want. Chet says, I've been around 437 for months. Don't worry, it'll come. It'll come. You get that one video that has legs, and they'll come. Here's another stupid question just to take up time. Where it is? Okay. Yeah. Which would you choose? Okay, if you had a gun to your head and they said, choose one, or I'm blowing your head off, would you choose cheaper build plus tools or a detailed build plus aftermarket? Which would you choose if you had a gun to your head? And they said, choose one. Galaxy says, detailed. There we go. Chet says, my video with the best views was when I did a slideshow from the American Speed Museum in Lincoln, Nebraska. There you go. I got to look that up on your channel. I'll watch that. Let's see. My best viewed video got like 5,500 views. It was the State of the Hobby video. Bernard says, what was the first option in the question? Okay. Would you choose a cheaper build plus tools or a detailed build plus aftermarket? Yeah, detailed, Chet says. Yeah, I remember that State of the Hobby video. That just took off and did not stop for about a month, I would say. Michael says detailed. It went on for a month, and like Moss from Moss 6510 models was even talking about the video on his Facebook group. And it's like, wow, some of the big boys over across the pond are mentioning it. It must be good. Galaxy says now all you got to do is move to Lincoln and make videos at the museum every day, and you'll be a billionaire. Oh, a billionaire. Okay. Bernard says could go either way, but making a detailed model without tools sounds rough. That's because it is. Need your tools. You need your tools even for OOB. Yeah. Oh man. Lucy fell asleep. I out of this world models and minis, otherwise known as John, says, hi Mike, hope all is well. I was able to swing by and say hello. Hey John. All is about as well as can be expected around here. How's things in your end of the world? Hey John, have you entered the group build yet? Just asking. If you haven't, all you got to do is you can enter something you're building right now, just as long as you get it done by the 15th of next month. Send a picture of the box to my uh, to the email on my channel description, and that'll enter you. And then have the picture of your completed model sent to the same email by 15th of December. And that's because what I'm going to do is everybody sends a picture, and you can enter as many builds as you want. And everybody who sends a picture in, I'm going to make a special video. It's going to be shown on Christmas of all your builds. Chet says, PSA when using grinder, be very careful. Too easy to grind out too much. Don't ask how I know. How do you know, Chet? So, John, don't forget, enter something into the holiday group build for the channel. Galaxy says, I don't use grinder. Too many weird people. Ah, I get it. Okay. Isn't Grinder a social media thingy? Yeah, I think Chet was saying when using a grinder. I don't use grinder either. So I don't use many social media stuff other than YouTube and Facebook. That's about it. John says, keeping busy with work. I'm a restaurant manager, and this is the busiest time of the year. I worked about 60 hours last week, and we'll keep around the same until Christmas. Wow. Chet says I painted my G69 GTX today. I taped it and laid down stripes. While untaping, I have a couple of spots I need to touch up tomorrow before I can clear coat it. Cool. I think I'm going to, since I'm not filming tomorrow, I'm going to take the time and I'll probably come in here tonight and before the game and uh, sprue glue the seams of my bulldog, and then I'll come in tomorrow and finish it, sand down the sprue glue, and get it ready for what's that stuff? Yeah, paint. It's called paint, Mike. Old man brain. Old man brain's coming to get me. Then I'll start another model. Hopefully I can get that done before the 15th. I also gotta see if I can find me some aftermarket decals for that. Do any of you know where I can get some aftermarket decals for a bulldog kit? For a Bristol Bulldog 148th kit. Chet says I was grinding out rear fenders on a 40 Ford sedan for the effing Pro Street. Anything built and went way too far, so had to fit styrene to make it look like fender skirts. Lot of sanding. Oh yeah. Don't you hate it when that happens, Chet? I hate it when that happens. STS will make any decals you want, but have a long wait. Yeah, I just want to order them and get them here because that Bristol Bulldog is going to be part of my entry into the group build. John says Etsy or eBay. Yeah, I tried eBay. They gave me that one of the things they gave me was a nice decals. It looked like, but it was I think it was a country in the Balkans somewhere, and yeah, do a Google search. That's how I found this, and they had it in the price in their currency, but it didn't. It didn't translate it to U.S. dollars, so I had no idea what it costs. I mean, yeah, okay, this is, or I had no idea even if they sent it over to the U.S. It just just nice set of decals with this weird currency. Chet says, when you said Bulldog, my mind goes to Mack trucks. Yeah. Galaxy says, mine goes to dogs. Yep, so did mine. Unless I'm building a bulldog, and which place it goes to plane. All right, Chet, there's a half hour left in the stream. You know what time it is. Let's talk Thursday night football. Bernard says, when you said bulldog, I was thinking one of the Tamiya tank kit Hobby Lobby sells. Oh, yeah. I know. I think I know what which one you're talking about. John says, I might have missed it, but how did you get your sponsorship? Also, good on you for getting that. Well, it's not really a sponsorship. I'm just collaborating with them. Uh, Basically, it all started this past summer. I was doing a video on 5 different airbrushes under $100. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to put some B-roll pictures of the airbrushes I was talking about off the websites. So I had to go. And I was doing gallery. I was doing one Pache and Fenda. So I had to write to the companies to get their permission, so I wouldn't lose potential ad revenue from them. And basically, they wrote gallery wrote me back and said, "Well, if you're interested in collaborating with us, let us know." So during this, I wrote them back, said, "Yeah, I would love to," and I never heard from them. So about 3 months later, I decided to write them back, say I'm still interested, and then we started to, exchanging emails, and one thing led to another, and now I'm working with them. We're collaborating. It isn't really a sponsorship because, I mean, they're not paying me, but they're actually sending me product to review. So, so that's how it happened, John. Chet says Jets versus Patriots. Yes. Another wipeout. I don't know. Jets are actually pulling their heads out of their butts and playing some football lately. Galaxy says, I wish I had gotten about 20 of those 1/16 scale 69Z28 kits from Hobby Lobby while they stocked them. Ooh, a 1/16 scale kit. You remember Galaxy how much they were asking for those? Just says not patriots, patriots. Bernard says, gotta go Jets. Pats still haven't made up for their violation of the law of averages. True, but they're the only team in the division that's actually playing something that resembles consistent football. Michael Lambertino, there's a place online called Mike's Custom Model Decals and a place called STS Model Custom Decals. Yeah, Chet mentioned STS, but I'll probably have to wait for those. But Mike's custom model decals. Let me write that down, because I'm going to be in here tomorrow booking a ride to the SSA office. Easy Moose. Mike's custom model decals. Model decals. Okay, I'll check them out. Bernard says there was one other successful aftermarket part I got. It was a set of wheels from a Ukrainian place that sold them on eBay. They are nice. That's one thing. He says, I used them to replace the default wheels in a car kit. There you go. I've noticed that a lot of Ukrainian manufacturers do good work. Probably something to do with the war, I think. Yeah. Never know when, you're going to get bombed out. I see, I haven't found that out. Yep. Uh, yeah. Chet says Slicks and STS make some of the best decals. Slicks. Slicks is all racing centric, mostly drag racing, and STS makes custom. Thought Mike's was mostly BASCAR, but not sure. No, it'll be worth a look see. Michael says, was at Hobby Lobby today, 40% off, bought 3 more kits. There you go. NASCAR. BASCAR's more like it. Bernard says, cool, Michael. Which ones? Only problem with Hobby Lobby is the selection doesn't change much. Yeah, and they got, their selection is, their stock is just all encompassing. I've been on their website, and a lot of stuff I wouldn't even call it is hobby stuff. Wow. We're down to 20 minutes left in this beautiful live stream. Let's see, Michael says, got a 41 Willys, a 65 Ford pickup, and a 63 Nova. Very cool. Especially that 41 Willys. That sounds like a good kit. Bernard says, nice. I'm sure your stash is happy today, Mike. Don't you say you're getting a Hobby Lobby soon? Yeah, we are here in town. I was out that part of town last month getting my driver's license re-upped. Wasn't in yet, but they're working on it. But they had to move everybody out of there that was in there, like the license bureau, the license branch. Yeah, so we should be getting one here pretty soon. Yeah. Chet says, Hobby Lobby online, read the description. Well, some kits you receive are not necessarily the kit shown. May say truck or muscle car. If the description matches pick, that's what you get. Hmm. I never noticed that. I haven't really bought much from Hobby Lobby. I usually, if I buy from a store online, it's usually either Sprue Brothers or the soon to be defunct uh, Mega Hobby. And that's a good place to look, people. That's a good place to look. They're starting to cut down on their inventory. They're gonna be out of they're going out of business third quarter next year. Say defunct three times fast. Defunct, defunct, defunct. Yeah, Meg Hobby just put some awesome stuff in their clearance section yesterday and it went fast. Yep. Chet says, I like Hobby Link in Georgia, but it's a week before they ship. Wow, must be busy down there. Yeah, I like Sprue Brothers because I'm in northern Indiana. They're in Missouri. It takes like no time to get a kit if I order it from them. Chet says, I looked at the clearance section and didn't seem much of a discount. Yeah, that's one thing I like about Sprue Brothers. Every week they have a 20% off sale on something. You know, it might be Meg, then it might be Hobby Boss, and it might be Revell, and so there's always a 20% off on some brand. Chet says Hobby Link's price is usually a little less than Mega Hobby, but use both. Cool, cool. Yeah, but keep an eye on that Mega Hobby website, Chet, because they're going to be cutting down on their inventory. Might be able to get some real good buys, especially during the holiday season. I don't think I'm gonna be able to buy uh, either a paint set or a uh, model box set from Airfix or a bundle from Airfix next month because I ordered the first of this month. I ordered a printer for the office, and this is Bernard says, sad to see Mega Hobby go. We still have Sprue Brothers and Squadron. Squadron's another good one. I tried Auto World Store recently and was successful. Once you're on their email list, they'll send discount offers from time to time. Cool. Michael said, Michael's is a lot worse for model kits. They have nothing, just a few models. Yeah. Bill Chet says, I would say closer to the closure when they want to dump inventory, and that will be towards the end of 26. Yeah, true. Michael says, what store were you talking about, Mike, that's going out of business? Mega Hobby. Mega Hobby is going out of business the end of next year. But I was telling you, I ordered a Canon printer for the office here. And I ordered it the first of this month, and it was supposed to be delivered. UPS said it got delivered on the 6th. I went up. They said it was delivered at 12:30. I went up to the lobby here where they put the delivered parcels. Nothing to be seen for me. Nothing. And a printer box that would be rather noticeable sitting there. And I haven't seen hide or hair of it ever since then. And I don't think I'm going to see hide or hair of it, so I'm going to have to reorder it. Chet says, Michael says, what store were you talking about, Mike, that's going out of business? Yeah, Mega Hobby, Chet says, also known as AAA Hobby in Jersey. Galaxy says, I built my own airbrush station. You mean your own spray booth? Or did you build your own spray booth and airbrush holders and everything? And certainly you didn't build your own air compressor. Yeah, that too. Wow, cool. So what actually did you build, Galaxy? Did you just build a a spray booth or brush stands or all of it or airbrush station can be a number of things to a number of people. So yeah, I'm picking the Patriots tonight, even though it wouldn't surprise me if the Jets pulled it out. Galaxy says, I built a booth box out of plywood and put it on my bench, then bought an exhaust fan and routed out a circle on top and shoot it out the window. There you go. Chet says you can make your own airbrush air source out of an empty propane tank with fittings and regulator, but it doesn't automatically refill. Yep. Very true. Which would suck because you got to go take it someplace with an air source, like, you know, gas station or something, to fill it up, which is gonna, nowadays costs you money, like every freaking thing else. I wouldn't be surprised if gas stations start putting coin slots in the door handles of their bathrooms. Got paid to go take a whiz. That'd be real nice. I'm surprised old John Christmas didn't show up today. He's probably still burnt out after Telford. I was gonna ask him about Telford. I already seen a couple of pictures on on Facebook from Telford. Looked like it was pretty much a riot like it usually is. All right, it's 4:51. We got like 6 minutes before I start closing this thing up. Chet says, I think he says, I'm 58, and remember in the 70s you needed quarters to use a stall at department stores. I remember that. I do, yes. I can picture that coming back, Chet. I can picture it coming back. Anything to make a buck or a quarter or two. Boost that bottom line. Man, it's starting to get dark already. 'Tis the season, la 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 la. Yepper. Although we had a little five and dime where my mom worked, it was just next street over behind her house, and we'd always go over there and we get to use the bathroom because my mom worked there. We were special, I guess. Galaxy says it's Halloween, time to put out the Christmas stuff. Not one for looking at the calendar, are you, Galaxy? We're 2 weeks away from, or less than 2 weeks, probably. Well, exactly 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. So, yeah, Halloween, hell, it's Thanksgiving. Chat says it was to help with the cost of the toilet paper for the stores. Galaxy says, well, that's what the stores do. Might have been a dime. Yeah, I still remember those, but I never had to pay. My mom, they had some code or something, or all the employees had a key or something they used, and all I'd have to do if I was in the store, you had to go pee. I'd look up my mom, say, "Mom." Bernard says, creep, Christmas creep gets worse every year. But now that my kids know I like models, they gift them to me, so I'll probably get some when the day finally is here. Yeah, I think my second Christmas here in the apartment, it's all I got myself was models. I got myself like 10 or 12 models. Chet says kids usually just slipped under the door. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's another side of it because since our mom worked there, we were expected to be good little kids and not do that, slip under the door and bypass all that crap. You know, didn't want our mom to get fired because we freaking commandeered the toity. All right, folks. So it's about 3 minutes till 5, so I'm going to start to wrap this up. You guys can talk amongst yourselves, but don't ask me nothing because I won't respond. We'll see you later, Jan. Have a good one. So, thank you all for participating and for your comments. Remember, as usual, if you like what you see or heard, press like and subscribe. Don't forget, these are for everyone watching later. Don't forget the Facebook group, uh, the Frugal Scale Modeler. I have a link to it on any of my recent videos in the description. Go there, answer 3 questions, and agree to the group rules. That's all you need to do. Uh, as we were talking about earlier in the stream, I am now working with Gallery, and if you go on the Gallery website, in which they starting the 20th of this month to the 1st of December, they're having their Black Friday sale, and I will tell you all on the channel. I will tell you more specifics about it when they send me those. But if you buy something during the checkout, enter the code MW Mike, all capital letters, all one word. You get an extra 10% off. And also, hey, while you're there, make 2 orders. And that second code, use Billboards Builds, and you'll get 10% off from Chet's code. And that way you'll be helping us both out. Uh, don't forget about the holiday group build. Uh, just send me a picture of the box Uh, Send it. I have a email on the channel description on my channel homepage. Just go to the channel description. The email to send that picture to is there. And when you get the model completed, send a picture to that uh, same email. Have your builds and your photos in by the 15th of December. That's the photos of your finished builds. Uh, Make sure you send a picture of the box you're doing, your model box, and make sure you have that in plenty of time to get that build done. So the next videos in the channel, as I said before, the current video is doing very well. It has good legs on it, and I'm just going to move tomorrow's video to Tuesday so that has plenty of time to run its course. So there'll be no video tomorrow. Tuesday's video will be what was going to be tomorrow, which is accuracy and scale modeling. And on Friday, we'll do one for can you be a serious scale modeler on a budget? And gee, guys, that's about all I got for this one. So, you know what we always say around here? Say it with me, everybody. Never stop pushing your modeling boundaries. Until Tuesday, 8:30. Ciao later.